guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Riley and today I'm going to be doing this look. I just did a fun little get ready with me. I really like how it turned out, so if you'd like to see how I achieved this look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I already did my eyebrows off camera just because they take me a really long time to do. But yeah, so today I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just going to kind of play around and see what happens. We are having like a family dinner tonight, so I don't want to go like super dramatic. But yeah, so eyebrows are on, my face is clean, I already have my moisturizer on, so we're going to start off with primer. And I'm sorry if you guys see me look this way, that is where my monitor is, just to make sure that I am in focus. If you see me looking that way, that is why. Also, just a disclaimer, my face is a lot lighter than my body. I did just actually finish self-tanning today. I put it on last night and rinsed it off this morning. So it is still developing, but it is going to continue to get darker. So I do have like the foundation shade that I've been mixing that does match me while I am this shade. But we're going to start off with priming our skin. So I use 3 different primers normally on a day to day. I am going to add in an oil today though, so technically that would be like 4, just because I feel like my skin needs a little bit of a boost today. But the first one we're going to start off with is the Benefit Porefessional. This one I've used for years. I absolutely love it. It really does a good job of filling in your pores and just smoothing everything out before you apply that foundation. And I do have quite large pores in this area just because as I was growing up I did have really bad acne. I still get like the odd breakout, but it's definitely not as bad. Okay, so the second primer I go in with is the Nude By Nature Perfecting Primer. This one I really like. I really like the smell of it. It smells like a spa. But then I really like how it leaves my skin feeling afterwards. It leaves it almost a little bit tacky. Okay, so that one is now on. Our last primer that I use is the Clarins. It's the SOS primer. This is the 00 Universal Light. So this one is just a radiance booster. So it just adds a very subtle, natural like glow to the skin. It's not like a shimmer, but it's a very natural glow. So even though I am oily, I really like using a primer that adds a bit of that radiance into my skin because I like looking glowy. I don't like looking like oily, but I really like looking glowy and fresh and everything like that. So that's why I use that one. And then today I am actually going to use a oil. So the oil, I have 2 oils that I really like. I like the Smashbox Primer Oil, but my favorite is the Farsali Rose Gold Elixir Drops, which are these ones here. So I normally just kind of shake them up and then put a couple drops into my hand and rub them all over my face. I could mix this in with my foundation. Personally, I would rather put it on before, unless I'm trying to like shear something out, or if it is like super matte, then I'll mix in a little bit of an oil. But for the most part I just like using oils almost like a primer, not just mixing it in. I like the way it makes my skin just have that little bit of a glow. Now all of our primers are on. I know 4 can seem excessive. I really like taking care of the base before going in with a foundation. So the foundation we're going to be going in with today is actually 2. I have to mix 2 different shades to get the shade that I am when I am self-tanned. And it is still developing, so it is going to continue to get darker. But I mix in 2 different foundations. They are both drugstore, which is really nice. But I mix in the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 in 05 Warm Beige. And then the Loreal True Match foundation in W7. So to apply my foundation, sometimes I will use a brush. Very rarely will I use a brush. I prefer using a sponge. So the one I use for my foundation and concealer is the Morphe Beauty Sponge. So I'm just going to mix the 2 foundations on the back of my hand and then start applying it to my face. Okay, I think I got the right mixture. Let's hope. It is going to be a lot darker than my face. I go up quite a few shades when I do self-tan, so it's going to look crazy. But then once I put on powder and everything, it evens itself out. Okay, so I think foundation is all blended out. Concealer I'm going to use is actually drugstore as well. It is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in Neutralizer. And I'm just going to place that under my eyes, down the center of my face, just to highlight. But anyways, I'm just going to take that same Morphe sponge. I'm going to flip it to the other side that I didn't do my foundation with though, to blend out the concealer. And then I do go in just with a little bit more right under my eyes and right on the center, like in my forehead. Just one more time, just to really highlight those areas. Okay, so now that the concealer is also on and the foundation is on, we're going to want to set everything. To set my under eyes, I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Translucent Powder. I do mix two different shades to keep my under eye bright. I mix fair and I mix medium deep, just because fair is like super pale. It's my like normal powder, and the medium deep is a little bit too dark, like I set the rest of my face with it. So I mix a little bit of them together just to get that perfect shade for right under my eyes, to keep it bright but also not like super white. And yeah, it just kind of makes like my own shade. And then right before you set it, I always go back in with my beauty blender and just, or not my beauty blender, my Morphe sponge, and just blend out any creases, just so you don't set those creases. And I use this light powder like anywhere that I highlighted the face. And I use it with my little Quo sponge. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And yeah, I try to leave the area that I highlight blank, because I do go in before I set the rest of my face with a highlighter, just to put on that area to keep it intense, because I do like a very blinding highlight. Okay, so for the highlighter I'm going to use just to create a base is Champagne Pop from Becca Cosmetics. Like, how pretty is that? Now that that is done, I don't like keeping this but I don't like leaving this powder on very long. I do go in just with like, this is a pure blurring brush, and I do just kind of dust away anything that was right under my eyes and on the center of my face. And then I go in just with that medium deep powder, and I set the rest of my face with it. And as I go over those areas that I did highlight, other than like right under my eyes, just to kind of blend these two colors together. It makes it look a little bit more natural. Okay, my lips are feeling a little bit dry. I'm just going to take off any foundation and concealer or powder that I have on my lips just with a makeup wipe. I just put a little bit of my Clarins oil. It's their lip oil, and this one is in mint. It just tastes really good. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to contour, and I use the BH Studio Pro, and I just use these three shades here mostly, and I kind of mix them together to create a very like light contour. So I'm just going to mix them, and I just do like a very little bit, like it's not even really noticeable on my forehead, but it adds a little bit of dimension. lately I've been mixing 3 different bronzers. So the first one I go in with on this, it's a Quo brush. It's literally just a huge stippling brush. And I go in with the BH Cosmetics Brilliance Bronzer in Bronze Babe. But I just go in and I just kind of tap it in there and I tap off any excess. This one is a little bit more like a red. Yeah, that looks very red. Wow. It's not that red in person. But it has more of like a red undertone than the other ones that I use, which are more neutral and just like warm. But I like going in with this one first just to create that little bit of like a red base, I guess, which is kind of weird, but that's okay. And yeah, I love this brush too. It just blends it out so nicely. Okay, so now that we have that one on, the second one I go in with is Butter Bronzer. I go in with the Casey Holmes palette, and I go in, this is just the deeper version. I've been using this one for, oh my gosh, a while now. But I like this one just because it is that little bit deeper. And I go in with that one on just like the Benefit, I think it was just like the Hula brush. And I'll just go right over top of what I just put down in the other areas. And then the last bronzer that I go in with is actually a Dior one, and I just do this one lightly. I don't go too heavy with it. This is just the Dior Skin Nude Air Tan. It's actually a tan powder, so it's in 001. But I like using it as just like a bronzer. And I just very lightly go over. Okay, so now that everything is done, I just take this little, it's just a BH Cosmetics, number 35 brush, and I go right underneath and just like blend it. So then, okay, so that is bronzer. I know that's a lot, but I don't know. I really like the way it makes my skin look. It gives me that really pretty like sun-kissed glow. It is definitely a little bit more than a lot of people would wear, but I really like it. So do whatever makes you happy. It's makeup. Everybody has their own way of doing it. Everybody has their opinion on it. Do what makes you happy when you do it, because it's on your face, really, at the end of the day. And then next we're going to go in with blush. So for blush I'm going to use, this is the Becca Cosmetics flowerchild blush. This is one of my favorites. As you can see, I've hit pan. It's really, really pretty. I love the, like, it gives you a little bit of like a luminosity glow. It's not like a shimmer blush, but it gives a really pretty, just peachy pink to the cheeks. And I base most of my blush right on the apples of my cheeks. Okay, so we're going to leave the face like this while we do our eyes. I'll just go back to like doing my highlight once everything has had, you know, a minute to like set in and go into my skin and really melt together. So that's why I like doing my eyes and then kind of reverting back. So for eyes, we are going to start off with this is the Smashbox 24-hour shadow primer. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this primer and just kind of plop it on my eye. I'm just going to blend that out with my finger and just kind of blend it all over the eye area. And I am definitely going to set that with a normal shadow color. We are going to be using the BH Cosmetics Sylvia Ganni palette, which this one is honestly right now I think my favorite palette that I own. I reach for it every day for at least one shade. And then this one's actually also one of my favorites. This is the BH Cosmetics Hanging in Hawaii palette. So this one's also a really good one. We're going to take Wolf out of the Sylvia Ganni one. This is just like a cream shade, like skin tone kind of color. And I'm just going to set my entire base with that. Okay, so I'm going to highlight right under my brow bone like right now just to get it over with. I will sometimes go back in afterwards to like emphasize a little bit more. But I'm just going to use this Nude by Nature. It's actually a lip brush, but I really like the shape of it for under my brow. And we're just going to take Prince out of the BH Cosmetics Sylvia Ganni palette. And just place that right underneath the brow bone. I get that my eyebrows don't look exactly the same. And they drive me absolutely crazy. But you know, what's the saying? They're sisters, not twins or something. And that's definitely my eyebrows lately. I don't know what's going on with them. They've been going through a crazy phase and I don't like it. But anyway, so we are going to go in to start off the look. We're going to use the Hangin' in Hawaii palette. And we're going to go in with Shaka. It's just a neutral kind of brown. And we're going to go in with that on the BH Cosmetics number 5 brush, which is just a super, super fluffy brush, and I love it. It has become my favorite fluffy brush that I own, just for like popping in that color kind of messily throughout the crease. I don't think I want to do anything like crazy today with my makeup, since it is like a family dinner. But we'll see what happens, because sometimes I say that and I end up with like this like either colorful like orangey red eye, which I absolutely love, or like the one day I ended up with like a yellow cut crease. So who really knows? But we'll see. Okay, so the next shade we're gonna go in with, I think we're going to go in with Channel from the Sylvia Ganni palette. Yeah, we're going to go with Channel. And I'm going to take that on, again, I think this was an Eco Tools brush. I don't remember. But it's a little bit more like tapered compared to the other one. It's not as fluffy. And we're going to take Channel and we're just going to place that kind of right, I don't know, I normally don't do it below it, but we're going to place it kind of right below where we just put that crease shade, the Shaka. And we're just going to blend that. This one I'm going to bring up a little bit more than I normally would, like a shade that I'm bringing below it, but because it is still like a mustardy yellow, if it goes up a little bit high, it almost looks like a crease shade. So it's okay. But I still don't want to bring it like all the way up to my eyebrow. Or my brow bone, I guess. But this is my favorite. Actually, this is my favorite shade in the whole palette. I freaking love it. This is the shade. This and like Prince and Wolf. Actually, and S Club in October. Like those are the ones that I use every time I use the palette. And then just before we go on with anything else, I'm just going to take that Shaka shade again and just kind of go over top of it, just so we don't lose that shade completely, so it stays prominent. Okay, so I'm going to now go in with Ginger from the Sylvia Ganni palette. Oh, hello. Which is this shade right there. Because I like it. And with this shade, I'm just keeping it more right on the outer part. I'm not trying to bring this one up like I did the other one. I'm trying to keep it right in this like outer lower corner here. And then I'm going to go back in with that brush I used for channel and just blend right over top of where we just placed ginger. And then I'm just going to grab, oh wow, I did not think that that was this brush. This is actually a brush that you get out of like a Naked palette. I don't even know which palette it's from. But I'm going to take the more like tapered end of it and go in with ginger just to pack a little bit more of it on. And I'm actually going to start to bring this in more. And then I'm going to go back in with that Luxie brush that we originally went with ginger in on. And just kind of like blend out the top. But still, I'm trying to keep it like as low as I can without bringing it really up into those other shades that we used. Okay, and now on a Nude by Nature crease brush, I'm going to go in with, I think I'm going to go in with Sisterwood, which is this shade right here. And I'm going to place that right, like just a very small amount, right on the outer corner. Because I really don't want this look to be like super crazy. So yeah, you want to keep it right on that outer part of your eye. And then I'm just going to take that same brush that we used to like pack on the ginger shade and just kind of blend them together a bit. And then I'll go in with the Luxie brush again as well. And with nothing on it, like I'm just going to go in and just kind of blend them. Okay, and then I'm just gonna repeat those steps until like I have like the desired like depth that I want. Okay, and just before it kind of sets in place, I'm just gonna take that pure blurring brush and just buff away any of the fallout that we have gotten. There hasn't been much, but just that little bit can definitely like make a difference. And I will go back and forth like this like a bunch of times before I'm happy with everything. But you stop at like what you're comfortable with doing. And I'm actually going to change one of the brushes I was using. I don't know what this brush is called. It's like a tiny itty bitty little tapering brush, and just take that channel on this brush and just really blend out. And I'm using it like sideways because it is a little bit angled, just to blend out that top. And then over everything with nothing on that first brush that we used. Just over top. Yeah, I think I'm going to go in with Wolf and just place that all over like this first area that we didn't touch. I'm going to go in with that other end of the Urban Decay brush. And just kind of place that right in the center where the Wolf and the ginger meet. And yeah, just blend in that Wolf. Very gently. I'm going to go onto the bottom lash line really quick, and then we're going to go into the inner corner, which I think I'm going to use Rose in, which is like a really pretty shimmery champagne-y. But for the bottom lash line, we're going to take those exact same colors. So first I'm going to go, I'm not going to use like the first like transition shade, but we're going to go with that shade Channel on the kind of angled brush. And we're just going to dust that right underneath. our entire lash line. And then we're going to go in with ginger on that kind of flatter end of that Urban Decay brush and start to kind of blend that right underneath as well. This is a Nude by Nature concealer brush. We're going to take just Sisterhood right on the tip of it and keep that based right on the outer area of the eye where we had it up on the top. I'm just going to keep it very far out on the lower lash line as well and just place a little bit of it there just to mimic exactly what we did on the top. Okay, and then on this just plain, or not Urban Decay, BH Cosmetic 101 brush, there's nothing on it. I'm just going to blend out everything on the top a little bit. But then for the inner corner with that rose shade, I'm going to take it, I think this brush should work. This is the BH Cosmetics 105 brush, and I'm going to spray it just with, this is the La Roche-Posay Zero Zinc. It is like a setting spray, but I'm just going to spray it to get my brush wet. And then you're going to take that rose shade, which is this one right here, out of the BH palette. And you're just going to pack that on your brush. Oh, that's pretty. And place it right in the inner corner. I'm actually going to take a little bit on my pinky finger and place it right in there too, just to pack it on a little bit more. Okay, and actually I think I'm also going to take that same little brush that we used to apply rose in the first place, take a little of Prince, tap it off, and put that right in the center. Okay, so that's pretty much eyes done. We just have lashes and mascara to do. I'm just going to go in with my Clarins Super Volume and then also the Loreal Voluminous Million Lashes. Okay, so now that I have that mascara on, we're going to go in with lashes. And for lashes today, I'm not using it. Ooh, actually. I'm going to go with these ones. I was going to go in with my Lily Lashes in Mykonos, but I think I'm going to go in with my, these are the House of Lashes Sephora collection, and these are in Amelia. Okay, so now that we're almost done, I have my bottom lash mascara to do, which I'm going to use the same two mascaras I used for the top lashes on the bottom. So I'm going to do that, but first we're going to do our highlight. I'm going to go back with one swoop of Champagne Pop. And then I'm bringing that up right in between like my eyebrows, pretty much right above where my eyebrows go, and just kind of up on the forehead because there's nothing really left on my brush, and then right above both ends of my eyebrows. Then on a different brush, that was a Morphe brush, I don't know the number of it, it's not on there. But then for my main highlighting brush, I like using, this is the Pure Blurring Concealer brush. That's like a smaller version of the one I use for under my eyes. And what I like doing first, unnecessary because I already have like a highlight on, but we extra. I'm extra. I'm ridiculous when it comes to this. I'm going to take that highlight in the Casey Holmes one because it is like a cream. And I'm going to pop that right over top. And we're going to go with one highlighter on top of this because this is like a cream base almost. I mean, it's super pretty on its own. But, I mean, once you see the other highlight we're using, you'll understand. Okay, so now that we have that another base, I guess, for highlighter down, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter. So I'm just going to get my, fill up my brush with that and place it right over top. the same thing. We're going to place that just everywhere that we have everything else. And then just to blend out, just so it's not like a super harsh, just kind of like line, I take a little bit of the flowerchild blush on like just a fluffy angled blush brush. And I take a little bit of that and I just kind of go right over top. Okay, so now that that is on, I'm going to set my face now. I'm going to use the Morphe setting spray as well as the Urban Decay All Nighter. I'm going to start with the Morphe. And then we're going to go in with the Urban Decay and just do like a couple little squirts. When I say a couple, I think I just did like 10. So for lips, I think I'm going to keep it pretty neutral, since, I mean, not that like everything else is like crazy. I'm just going to keep it a little bit more neutral just because we are having dinner and like I'm going to be eating and everything. So I think for lips, I'm going to go in with Pop Culture from MAC actually. I'm going to start with that because I know I'm using that. And I do overline slightly. I find my lips aren't even, especially on the top, so I do just kind of mimic it. Okay, and then for the lipstick, I think I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Sure Thing, which is really, really light. I might go in with something over top of it, but we'll see once I have this on. Yeah, I'm going to have to go in with something over top. Yeah, I need something else on top. Okay, so I'm going to go over top of it with Pink Lemonade from Tarte. This was their like Rainforest. I think they still sell these. I don't know. That's better. Much better. And then right over top, I'm going to go in with this Revlon gloss in 570 Smoky Topaz. Oh, I don't know if I like this now. Okay. Now, I think I'm all done. I'm just going to go change and then I will be right back. Okay guys, this is the completed look. I really like how it turned out. It's nice and simple, but there is that little bit of pop of color right in the inner corner. So I'm really happy with it. And I really like the lip as well. So yeah, if you guys liked this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.